nerds, pretty 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 nerds.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Pretty Nerd Podcast. This is your girl Falan DeAnn.
And this is your girl Nay.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Super happy with this weather. I mean, we had 70, almost 80 degrees today. It's beautiful, other than the thunderstorm part of it, but shit. I'm just happy it's warm. What about yourself?
Same here. I'm happy that it's warm. Definitely looking to do more outside activities. I just feel different when it's warm. It's like I have energy. I'm like, oh, I want to go and do this. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm going to start. We have a little walking trail, whatever, that I was doing. I started it like in December. And it was like super duper duper cold, so I dropped off from doing it. But I'm gonna start picking it back up now as it's getting a little warmer. So I'm excited about that because it's about 4 miles. So I do 2 going down and then 2 coming back. So 4 miles a day. So hopefully that'll help me get even in some really, really, really good shape this year. That's what I'm hoping for. I guess we can jump into like the hot topics for this week. Mm-hmm. I guess let's start light. Quick Grammy recap. I didn't watch the Grammys, but I saw I don't know about you, but I don't really watch award shows anymore. I started to think about it. I remember when I was maybe in my very late teens, early 20s and stuff like that. When we were in college, maybe.
Yeah.
I was bored. I would watch award, but I've never really super duperly been into award shows, and so. Especially, and now I definitely don't watch them. So
I don't, and I've never been a Grammys person. It was always maybe the BET Awards, Hip Hop Awards, or something. But it was never oh, I'm gonna watch the Grammys or Emmys or anything. No.
Yeah. No. Well, nonetheless, the Grammys did take place this year. Big stories from the night. Meg Thee Stallion took home 3 awards, including Best New Artist. One of those rap categories was the first time for a female artist ever. So congratulations to her for that. And then I know also another big moment was Beyonce took home, I think, 3 or 4 awards. But by the end of the night, it pushed her to having won, 28 Grammys now, making her the most awarded artist ever.
Yep. She got the most Grammy wins by any artist, period.
Congrats to Beyonce on that. And also congrats to Blue Ivy Carter becoming, I think they said, the 2nd youngest ever to win a Grammy. So big business all the way around, I guess, for Rock Nation for that whole situation. I mean, with Meg winning, Beyonce winning, Blue winning. I mean, so big news all the way over there. Trying to think of any other highlights. Oh, her won for the best song. What about you?
I know we talk about the Grammys a lot because of the representation. I mean, still nothing has changed. Are they getting better? Maybe just for the sake of, not being shitted on this year. Pretty sure they are. But yeah. I still am proud of the women that did win. And rightfully so, because a lot of people give Meg heat and it's oh, she didn't deserve it. Bro, this girl works hard. Stop with the foolishness.
She had a big year. She definitely had a big year. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that Lil Baby was gonna take the best rap, either rap performance or rap song. I was sure. I'm not gonna front and say I wasn't shocked that Lil Baby didn't take her home at least one. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm not mad that Meg won it either. I mean, she had a big year as well. I just was surprised that Lil Baby didn't win at least one because he did have a monster album, monster year. I mean, he's been collabing on everything as well. Arguably, if Meg was the biggest female this year, Lil Baby was the biggest male rap artist this year. So I was surprised in that regard, but outside of that, nothing really shocked me in general. I will say, I guess in regards to performances, I've been seeing a lot of feedback, a lot of people talking about Sonic. What is the name of Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak? Is it Sonic something?
I'm not sure.
I can't. I can't remember the name of it, but I know a lot of people have been talking about their performance, the song that they put out. It's actually a really good song. After I have seen people talk about the performance, I went and checked out the song. It's actually pretty good. I'm a little bit excited for the record that they got coming up. I'm going to check out to see what the name is right now because it's going to drive me insane. But I'm a little bit excited for what they got coming. I like the sound of it. I've always liked Bruno Mars because I think Bruno Mars is super dope. And I like Anderson .Paak too. So, they're called Silk Sonic. There we go. Got it. And the name of the song was called Leave the Door Open. So, nonetheless, I recommend it. Check it out. It's a good record. I think it's gonna be a dope album. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the only performance that I say that I gave a crap about. What about yourself?
I did see that like Cardi and Meg's performance got a lot of criticism though. Like a lot of criticism. I'm like, bro, I mean, y'all act like if your kids was watching the Grammys and they know this song, they probably saw the video. It's the same thing. Let it go. I mean,
I'm gonna say I've always been surprised by that fucking argument though about kids watching this stuff and I'm like, but what kids is really like if you and your kids is watching award shows, I would think because at the same time the Kids Choice Awards was running. So why would they be watching the Grammys and not watching the Kids Choice Award, which is garnered towards children? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm confused. Like, huh?
And like even the Center for like Sexual Exploitation was like their performance. And I was like, listen, this is the year of the year or whatever of like, I mean, I just think we passed this conversation of like, oh, this is, exploiting women. Be like, bro, this performance exploits women out of all the other music and stuff that you can criticize. You waited until this moment. Okay.
Not only that, though, didn't they perform very late in the show anyway? Wasn't it like almost towards the end of the show?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that show ended, like almost 9 or 10 o'clock at night? Yeah. Shouldn't the kids have been in bed? I'm just saying, listen, I don't know. I'm not a parent, but I'm just saying, who am I? All I'm saying,
It's not like they don't announce what's coming up next and you know what the song is about, the video. Hey, well, let's go ahead and cut this off.
Right. Like, hey, who am I? I don't know. I guess the argument is that they expect celebrities to parent their kids. I don't know shit. I just thought that if you a parent, as a parent, you get to make the decision of how you want to raise your kid. And if you don't want your kid tuning into shit like that, turn it off. It's that simple. I don't understand. Nonetheless, let's move on from the Grammy talk. Let's jump into quick hitter. I just saw online that they said they extended the tax deadline this year. So instead of in the normal April tax deadline, it's been extended to May 17th. So for all y'all out there, you got a little bit longer this year to get your taxes filed. So, but I would say don't wait on it. Just go ahead and do shit now and get it out the way. What else do we got that's super quick? Let's jump into this Kirk Franklin situation. So I saw the little clips online about him and his son. They kind of going back and forth. And then his son released like a little video, I guess, where Kirk was cursing him out or some shit. I don't know. I don't really have too many thoughts on it, but what are your thoughts on
it? I guess for me, it wasn't the fact that he cursed him out. Or he used curse words. I'm not gonna say curse him out. That he used curse words. It was more of, but this your child. And so many people that I saw was like, he a grown man. Yeah, to us, he's a grown man. But this is child that he called a bitch ass nigga, a punk, broke. I don't understand. I'm like, maybe because I don't have that relationship with either one of my parents. They, can be mad as hell at us and still be, affirm us and all of that stuff. So I was like, I can't relate. But I was like, I don't know. I was like, I didn't like it. And it wasn't for the fact that he a Christian and he cursed. It was more like, bro, this your whole child. And yeah, but Kirk Franklin did something similar like that to his parents. So when people was like, he he said something bad about his parents. I'm like, shit, Kirk Franklin did the same thing to his parents. So now I was like, that was my own thing. It's just like that was the language that you use towards your son, and you have so many other resources. You have a family therapist. I'm pretty sure you got the skills and you got the money and the time. Like, bro, y'all ain't gotta have a best relationship, but y'all can be better than that.
Right.
Seemed like it was something that happened overnight. This is something that's probably been going on. Yeah, I want a fan.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, the issue, like, I didn't care about, like, the rant itself. Like, a lot of people was taking offense to it. I feel like, I mean, like you said, he's a man, you know, that he's a person, he's a human being. He may be Christian, but he's a human being. He gonna talk how he want to talk. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't offended by the language per se. I guess for me, the issue that I had with it was the amount of people that were kind of taking sides on it. Because my thing is, nobody went, like, I mean, as cliche as it is now, but you know, as Jay said, nobody wins when the family feuds. And I mean, the son has relevant feelings. You know what I mean? To feel it in that, and his feelings shouldn't be ignored or shouldn't be, I guess, downplayed because he's quote unquote grown now, or it shouldn't be downplayed just because of, you know, people feel like he's clout chasing or he's whatever like that. I mean, he has a right to his feelings, to feel like he was the black sheep of the family, to feel like, hey, once my father remarried somebody other than my mother, I was the outcast child. He has legitimate right to feel that way, and he isn't the first person to feel that way or the first person to go through that. I mean, we literally saw the same thing play out with Will Smith and his oldest son Trey, but they figured a way to work it out. You know what I mean? I'm sure they had, from, you know, when they sat down and they talked about it on the red table, you know, Will said that there was years and years upon years where, you know, they didn't speak and he was angry at Will and all of this and everything like that, and he just kept trying and they figured out how to work it out, and now they're back to tighten it closer than ever. So I mean, I just didn't like the fact that everybody was like taking sides, and a lot of people were on Kirk's side just because they're feeling like the son shouldn't have did it and this, that, and the other. I'm just like, I mean, his feelings, regardless of how old he is, his feelings aren't invalid, and we shouldn't downplay how he feels just because he's quote unquote an adult now.
Yeah,
We should be rooting for them to, in my opinion, work it out.
yeah. And that's what my thing was, is like, there's still, no matter how much we want to go, oh, he a 33, there's still hurt there. And until that hurt is addressed properly, it's going to always be a rift. And I'm like, just for you to call him that, it's like, I didn't, and I'm like, again, that's not the first time that he's done it. That's how he know to record him.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into this whole situation with the talk. It's kind of been all over the internet lately, and it started out as just, I think all of us who saw the clips or even who saw the show was, because I saw the show because, you know, now working from home, I sit and while I'm working, daytime TV is really the only thing that be on at the time. So it's these little talk shows. So you turn to one here or there and check it out. So I turned to it because I wanted to see because I knew, I mean, and that's another thing, because Sharon Osbourne did an interview and said she was blindsided by them bringing up the conversation and all of that. And I'm like, me as a person, I literally tuned into that show because I knew that they were going to talk about it after she sent out that tweet in support of Piers Morgan. So how the hell can you be a voice on that show and talk about you were blindsided? You knew that was going to come up. I don't give a damn what you said. I was blindsided. They didn't tell me. They shouldn't have had to tell you. You knew it was going to be a conversation that was going to come up. But nonetheless, for those of y'all who have seen the clips, or for those of y'all like me who tuned in and saw it live, you literally saw Sharon Osbourne do everything that she could to weaponize her tears and her victimhood, in my opinion, And you saw Cheryl do what sadly so many of us as Black women have to do, try to, remain calm, not show any passion, just, you know what I'm saying, deflect, have her voice be as monotone as possible. I mean, it was really sad to, in a sense, have to see Cheryl have to basically portray, or I don't want to say portray herself, but quote unquote, I guess, be in control. I don't know the proper term to say it, but she had to basically almost make herself smaller so that she wouldn't blow up, and then the trope would be, oh, here goes the angry Black woman on the rant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like, and it's so typical. So typical. Like, the way that she was, like, even like her apology is just so freaking typical. Like, bro, you literally get on here talking about you're uncomfortable, you're defensive, but this is what you did to your talkmate, or whatever you want to say, your co-host. And every time we're always called on to be this quote unquote bigger person. Why? Right. Like, she literally, and I'm like you said, you weren't blindsided. You knew there was a conversation. The whole thing was still a hot topic in the media circuit. So you know what was going to freaking happen. You get on the internet and voiced your whole, I stand in support of Piers Morgan. So why wouldn't somebody come and be like, so, tell me more?
Exactly.
So yeah, I wasn't a fan. And I'm like, girl, find you something else better to do, because daggone well.
Right.
That you don't stand, like, I stand against racism. No, the fuck you don't. Because if you stood against all of that, you would have not even put Cheryl in a position knowing how Black people are viewed, and then Black women are viewed as aggressive. And just even we knowing that if Cheryl would have not even raised her voice, if she talked in her regular voice, because when you think about all the things that we've seen her on, she's very, like, loud by nature.
Right.
So just for her to be like, you know what, this is not blah, 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 like, this is not how you normally talk. And you could tell she's calculating every word that comes out of her mouth, where you could just get on TV and spew ain't like just bullshit and then come later and apologize and cry.
Right. And it wasn't even a legit apology, because she still hasn't even apologized to Cheryl directly. And that's who she should apologize to.
Like, y'all don't cry all week long.
And she didn't. And the thing about it that I guess really upset me or angered me was the simple fact that she had the audacity to sit there with Cheryl and be like, don't you dare cry. Don't you dare cry. I'm the one who should be crying. And like, even going into the break, she, that you could hear her yelling, fuck you, and this and that and the other. Like, I mean, it's no surprise now that we're hearing all this stuff that has been happening behind the scenes from previous co-hosts like Holly Robinson Peete and Leah Remini, coming out saying that she called them ghetto, to her spewing racist things toward Julie Chen, her spewing homophobic slurs at Sarah Gilbert. I mean, nonetheless, and I applaud Elena. I think her last name is Wentworth, but her first name is Elena. I applaud her for just saying fuck it. You know what I'm saying? She's new on the show, and she said fuck it. I'm not gonna sit here and take none of this. She's the one who took it and reported it to HR and said she makes this a toxic, hostile workplace, and I'm not here for the bullshit. Salute to her, okay? Yeah. Because goddamn it, I'm with you. And as Black folks, that's what we need to do. As Black people, that's what we need to start doing. Fuck that. We shouldn't have to just sit there and take that. That's what HR is there for. No, I'm not gonna just sit here and have to be abused by these folks. Nope. Reporting your ass straight to HR.
Like Blue, and you can talk to them about it. But you could just imagine how she acted when she was at HR. Like, I didn't know, girl. Bye.
Exactly. We shall see, I guess, what occurs or what happens after that. Whether they, come back, whether she stays on the show, I don't know. But we shall see what occurs from all of that.
Yeah, I guess my hope is goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, her opinion won't be missed. I mean, they could always replace her with somebody else. I mean, how many times has The View went through a gajillion different co-hosts? So it is what it is. All right, so that brings us to our final topic, final hot topic. It's been 1 year since Breonna Taylor was murdered. I think a couple of days ago we ran up on the exact anniversary of her passing, and I guess we can just kind of just talk about the case itself, what it kind of did for us as Black women when we heard about it, and then we can talk about some of the other kind of fallouts in dealing with some of the other cases. And recently with Tamir Rice's mom, she went on Twitter after the Grammys, and when Tamika Mallory, she was, if you watched the Grammys, one of the other performances, and we didn't mention it, was Little Baby's performance. And he performed the record where he had Kendrick Sampson, who is an activist. He portrayed a Black man who was shot down by police, and then they did a whole, performance piece around that, which led to Tamika Mallory coming up and giving a speech towards the end of the performance. But nonetheless, Tamir Rice's mom wasn't happy about it. She wasn't feeling it. She went through and she pretty much went in on Tamika Mallory, Lee Garrett, Benjamin Crump, all the names that we have come to know and associate with a lot of these different kind of cases and a lot of the activism that's been going on. So just give me your thoughts on, obviously, Breonna Taylor's passing, the case and everything, and then go into the situation with Tamir Rice's mom and the activists and everything like that.
So just starting with Breonna Taylor, and not saying that all of the other senseless killings of Black people did not have the same impact, because I think, what was that? I can't remember what year. I feel like it was 2016 when we had Philando, or maybe was it 16, 15? Philando Castile, and all of them just came back to back, and you're just like, mentally, you're just tired. Whereas for me, can't speak about anybody else. Like, I was so tired to the point, like, I was just like depressed, where I'm like, I had to like literally unplug. Not just from social media, just from like just life, to just get my head. But her death for me it took me back to Trayvon Martin. And I mean, that was like my turning point of, like, I even at that point checked myself about my anti-Blackness at that point. And I'm like, yo, what you're doing is literally violent to your own people. It's just a hurt. And when you see people get off that, like, bro, you did this. And you did this with no morals, high standards. You weren't operating, even where you saying, oh, we did announce ourselves. But you did a no-knock warrant. How am I supposed to know, even, you announcing yourself saying you the police, but you didn't knock and you kick my door down. So how am I supposed to know that, again, that you're not a robber, and robbers come in and say, hey, this is the police? It just angered me. And then the fact that the officers that you do prosecute, you don't even prosecute for her murder. It was for like putting people in harm's way next door. Like, it's just infuriating. Like, upset, like tears, and just seeing her mother's, like, I can just keep going on because of her. And yeah, I'm like, still like can't wrap my head around like how no one is held responsible, and not just losing of jobs, because we know they didn't necessarily lose their job. We're gonna let you resign so you can keep your pension and all of this bullshit. Or you have one officer that has to take the fall for everybody else, which you wouldn't be surprised if he's not working on another police department or in some type of law enforcement capacity in a few years, when people think that it'll blow over.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And then I don't know if you want to speak about Breonna and then go into the other thing, or
okay,
all together. I don't know.
Okay. So my thoughts on Breonna Taylor, obviously, I'm with you. When I saw the case, obviously it made me completely sad. unfortunately, I mean, we've just seen so many of these cases that by the time it came around, I remember we on our show, we talked about it quite a few times. We kept trying to bring it up, make sure it stayed, a trending topic, because I feel like, and I hate to say, it's one of my biggest critiques of the movement. I feel like that Black women kind of fall to the wayside. It's we see so many of us get up for Black men, and by no means is that a bad thing. We should be doing that. I'm super proud of the strides that we made for Trayvon, for Philando, for George Floyd, for all the countless men that have been killed. But Breonna Taylor was really the first time that I saw a lot of us kind of open our eyes and realize that women have really been lost in this movement a little bit. As much as we have been, a lot of us have been at the forefront of leading this charge, whether it be creating organizations, putting together marches, this, that, and the other, standing right there side by side by, Black men, to in this fight, we have really been lost at the wayside when it comes to, the same response to when we are killed senselessly by gun violence. So with Breonna Taylor's murder, I think it was really kind of another eye-opening moment, like, hey, you know what? We can't continue to let Black women fall to the wayside in this fight and in this movement. And I will also say I'm with to now sit in a year later and still, truthfully, there be no resolve. The people who murdered her, like you said, they were charged for basically shooting a wall as opposed to taking her life. I will say one good thing that we saw come out of it is that her boyfriend, the charges were officially fully dropped. He will not, they were dropped with prejudice, so that they cannot file charges against him again. So, I mean, that's one good thing that came out of it. But aside from that, I mean, Daniel Cameron, the prosecutor, ought to be disbarred, in my opinion, and removed from office. Like, if y'all vote his ass in again as y'all prosecutor or district attorney or whatever the hell whatever position he plays in y'all state, I'm sad for y'all asses, because he did not do the job that he was put in place to do at all. He should be immediately removed from office. He was more worried about protecting those officers and protecting his political connections, in my opinion, more worried about appearing on Fox News, in my opinion, than he was about, prosecuting those men for murdering Breonna, for the mistakes that they made, and holding them accountable for it.
Because I'm like, bro, you cannot, and it was just, and then it makes you more angry because they was like, oh, well, they acted correctly. And I'm like, what?
How?
Like, even for that's like a slap in the face. Like, bro, we know that they did.
Right. Shit, you still haven't, it's a year later and y'all still haven't even been able to tell us how they got the warrant. We still don't know. Because what we know is that the person that y'all supposedly was looking for, the reason y'all was even knocking on her door, was already in custody. Right. So how did y'all even get the fucking warrant?
And why would y'all need for him to lie for y'all if you did everything 100?
Exactly. Yeah, listen. It's just one of those situations. Just another one of those situations where we all just got to shake our head and, But if anything, like I said, if anything positive comes out of that, it's that I think that, at least I'm hoping that we will start to see, we won't continue to see Black women fall to the wayside in the movement. That they will be just as important as the Black men that have been being murdered and killed. And then let's jump into this situation with Tamir Rice's mom and her tweets out against the Black Lives Matter movement, Tamika Mallory, Benjamin Crump, and Lee Garrett, and pretty much a lot of the activists that have been associated are names that we have become familiar with over these last couple of years.
Yeah, I saw her tweet, and I will say overall, I don't disagree with it. And not saying that the Black Lives Matter movement didn't start with good intentions and still probably has good intentions. I don't knock it at all. But I still think it's one of those things, just drawing back to Breonna Taylor. It's like Black Lives Matter was everywhere for for George Floyd. Excuse me, I said George Taylor. I don't know where that name came from. My apologies. But everywhere just in the middle. And then you have this representation from when it comes down to Breonna Taylor. It's just like, I mean, maybe we'll show up. And you had other, like, I guess you could say celebrity women that kind of took it upon themselves. Even some of them being Tamika Mallory, with the Breonna Taylor Expo. Wrong move, sweetheart. Wrong move. Like I said, overall, I definitely don't disagree with her. When it comes down to Ben Crump, the only thing that I would say with him personally, I don't know if he like lets them come to him or he's one of those people, how we call it, some lawyers ambulance chasers.
Right.
It's like, let me go ahead and give them a call before any other attorney can get on it. And, his name speaks for itself. So I don't know the logistics of that. Now, if he's that person, I will say that's kind of messed up. But I agree with, like, when it comes down to, like, Sean King, I despise him because of the way that he treats Black women. He steals their intellectual property and will basically send his little followers out to attack them when he's confronted about stealing. The fact that he uses his name and his platform to collect funds. And I'm like, it's the point of he's connected to Black Lives Matter, or was. And at that point, I think he was still connected. But we all know him from that avenue, or from him raising funds for Black people that sometimes we don't know, where they go. I know there's been like several investigations about like, where is the money going? But he used his platform to raise money for his white brother. Like, make it make sense. Yeah, so I really, like I said, I don't disagree. And if you are raising money, I feel like if you are raising money, you are getting book deals. I do think there is some responsibility with activism that you give back. And that may be because, I don't know, like when you think about like the older generation, it was always like, okay, the money that I'm getting, how is this going to benefit the community? Of course, you have to have funds to live it, but I just see a lot of money being made and not a lot of it going to the community. I'm like, because I feel like if you are Sean King or you're these activists, you getting all of this money, why Beyonce and Jay-Z got to bail people out of jail? Like, is there not like a reserve for that already? That's my only thing. And just to harp on one of her points, and I hope that not one of them is doing this, and that's taking it upon yourself to speak for the family before you've spoken to the family.
Right.
Like, I'm hoping and praying that none of them have done that.
Okay. So on my end, I feel like I fall somewhere in the middle. I 100% support Tamir Rice's mother, and I feel like she has every right to her opinion. She has every right to feel that way, especially because she's went through the experience and she's dealt with the different organizations. So she has every right to condemn them if they didn't do for her what she felt she needed to do. I mean, they in her eyes, they promised her justice and she didn't get that. So I get it, and I fully support, and I'm also with you in the sense that I don't like the trend, like how it's become a trend, how it's like, well, if I say I support Black Lives Matter, if I say I do, you know what I mean, that somehow absolves me from actually doing the work. All I have to do is say it or tweet it or this or that and the other, and that absolves me from actually doing the work or being present. I will say on the other side, it's like you have to think about it like all movements have goods and bads about them. I think we could go back to all movements and point to certain situations and certain people and be like, you know what I mean? And let's be real. There's a lot of names and activists that we know of who got rich off of that. Al Sharpton, you know what I mean? He's just one that comes to mind. I mean, there's there's the activism, unfortunately, when someone jumps in that lane and they become someone who speaks out publicly, and if they have a good, good speaking voice, and they become involved in those those political playgrounds, they're going to get paid for it. There's going to be money that exchange hands. They may be able to write books and get book deals and things of that nature. It's going to happen. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast. I will say it's the nature of the world that we live in. We live in a capitalistic world, so they will get money off of that. Is it like one of those things where you feel like they, in a sense, like maybe they shouldn't get rich and famous off of it? But like I said, it's the nature of, unfortunately, like I said, it's just the nature of the society that we live in. We live in a capitalistic society, so somebody gonna get paid off of it. So you know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. I will say that one of my biggest issues, though, with folks is that they point a lot of fingers at these activists and stuff like that. But my thing is, it's ultimately you're a free person. You know what I mean? You're a free thinker, and you're your own person, and your mind and your voice is the most important aspects of who you are as a person. And you should be using that. It's ultimately up to you to decide where you want to donate your money, or where you want to give funds to, what you want to support, what things that you want to get behind. You know what I mean? This isn't a dictatorship. We don't say, oh, you have to do this, or you have to agree with all of this, or agree with all of that. You have every right to disagree with certain aspects of it, or certain points of it. And I feel like a lot of people, just like I said, it becomes it's a bandwagon for y'all. Oh, so everybody else is donating to Black Lives Matter. Let me put my money there. Well, if you don't know where the money goes to, then why would you do that? You know what I mean? If you don't feel like you know where your money is going, then why are you going to donate to Black Lives Matter? For me, for one, I fully support the message behind Black Lives Matter, but I've never put $1 towards Black Lives Matter because I don't know where the money goes. You know what I have used their site for? To point me in the direction towards other grassroots organizations that are in my area that I can research and know exactly who's doing the work and where the funds are going to. That's what I've used it for, but I've never actually donated to the big Black Lives Matter fund that everybody puts their money towards, or that they go to, that national one. I've never put no money towards that because, again, I don't know where that money goes. So why, you know what I mean? But I feel like that's the responsibility of us as people to research. I mean, I think you and I have both said this plenty of times. Even when natural disasters occur, do your research before you put your money somewhere. You should be knowing where it goes. Don't just see everybody doing something on the internet and be like, yeah, that's why I'm gonna do it. No, if you don't know where that money going, I'm not putting my money there. I don't know. That's my kind of biggest takeaway from that. But I'm definitely in the part where there are parts of the movement that do not sit right with me. I saw the young lady Chica, the rapper, who tweeted about how she supported Tamir Rice's mom because she, in the same right, when she was they held a rally back in LA for Breonna Taylor, and they allowed YG to shoot his music video there. And she said that didn't sit right with her. It just felt like this. Why would you allow him to shoot a music video? This is a rally. This is a protest. Someone lost their life. And I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that. Like, when I saw that, I was disgusted. I was like, why the fuck is he shooting a video in the middle of a rally for Breonna Taylor? Just because your record is called Fuck Donald Trump? Like, what does that have to do with what the fuck is going on here? Like, what part of the movement is that?
And then especially about some being so, I guess, extreme when you say fuck Donald Trump. It's like, why would you even let that happen there? And it takes off from Breonna Taylor. Like, that's the main and the most important thing. But of course, when YG dropped that song, or you saw that, it's just like, you didn't even know where the fuck he really was.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I definitely, like I said, I think there are good and bads with every movement There are going to be there are going to be missteps. Activists are people too. They are not perfect, so they're going to make missteps. I think whether Tamika wants to admit it or not, I think going back, if she'll look back, she will see that the whole Brianna Khan thing, even if she had permission from the family, just was a misstep. It was a bad look. But I can't negate the work that she's done. I mean, because we've literally seen her boots to the ground, out at the rallies, out at the protests, getting arrested, organizing. So I can't negate the work that she has done because she makes a misstep. You know what I mean? Granted, that was, in my opinion, that was a big misstep because I didn't, when I saw it, I was like, is we really doing this? Like, I don't like it. But again, there are going to be bits and parts of every movement that you're not going to agree with. You know what I mean? I'm as pro-black as they come, but there have been bits and parts of this movement that I don't fuck with, that I don't agree with, that I don't like. There have been parts of messages that I don't support. There are parts of messages that people, don't support, and that's going to happen. We're not all going to be on the exact same page, but I think the importance of the movement is that we understand that something has to be done. That we understand that we can't just sit back and continue to be apathetic. We can't just sit back and continue to allow the shit that's going on to occur.
And I definitely agree, but don't give $1 to Sean King. That's the only thing I can say. Out of everybody in it, don't give a call. Don't do
it. All right, so that is it for us in Hot Topics. Let's go ahead and quickly, because we definitely ran over some time there. Let's go ahead and quickly jump into the relationship portion of the show. And I will kick us off this week. I saw a report that says that Tinder is they're doing research on how to introduce, I guess, allowing you, once you do make a match, and if you want to meet someone offline, they're doing research to figure out how to integrate software that will allow you to do a background check on that person before you go to meet them offline, just so that you can feel, I guess, more safe, feel like you really know the person that you are meeting up with. Do you agree with this step, or do you feel like it's too drastic?
I mean, I agree. And the reason why I say I agree is, first of all, it's safety. And it's not just one-sided. And I think it's something that we should do anyway, especially in 2021. Like, listen, go and plug their name in and pull it. Now, and with Tinder, you both have to be a match. So, I mean, I don't see anything necessarily wrong with it. And I mean, if you sign it in and it's on their terms of use, then hey, and you agree to it, then whatever it is, what it is. Like, it's some psychos out here. We've heard a lot of stories about women being murdered from online connections. So I don't protect anything wrong with it.
I absolutely do not see anything wrong with it. I'm sorry. With the trend now, with so many people meeting online and doing online dating, it takes the vetting process out of actually getting to meet somebody in person, feel them out a little bit. Even then, even when you meet somebody in person, you still, a lot of us still go back home and we'll go and do our Googles and try to look up and see if we can see social media page and things of that nature, just to be, you know what I mean? Just to see if we can peep. Hey, is he married? Do he got somebody on? You know what I mean? Or has he ever been arrested or convicted of a crime? You know what I mean? Like, Unfortunately, it's what we got to do in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to swipe left or swipe right. I can't remember. Yeah. Swipe right on the person or I don't know, whatever. I don't want to swipe on the person and then find out, he was one of them little Capitol riot protesters. Shit, like, you know what I'm saying? That's scary to me. That's one of my little biggest fears now. Because I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna try to open up and give everybody a chance and date, maybe date outside my race, this or that and the other. But then that little Capitol riot thing happened. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I can risk it.
You see that one of the husbands on that one of the lady husbands that was in the Capitol riot, he was married to a black lady too. Don't
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I was like, I don't know if I could do this. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, listen, in this day and age, unfortunately, shit, this is what it's come to. Especially with so many people choosing and making that route to start meeting people and dating off the line. It's a necessary step. You know, let's be as safe as we can possibly be. Simple as that. All right. And so what's your question this week?
So this was a scenario that I saw. I've seen it all over social media, but it's basically a woman tweeted and was like, we went to a basic restaurant yesterday and with her friend, and her dude joined them. Her ticket came up to be a total of $24.58. And the dude asked the waitress for 2 checks. Now, the young lady on here was like, you know, the man is dusty and broke. And she told her friend that she shouldn't entertain dusty men and all of this. So my take is, would you expect the man that you're dating to cover her check as well? Or like, how would you feel about it?
So I saw this and I was in shock in the comments because some people was like, oh yeah, she right, he does it. What? Y'all really out here expecting y'all dudes to cover y'all friends? Like, is that? I mean, now he gonna cover me because I'm dating him. But do I have an expectation that he gonna pay for my friends? I mean, listen, if he wants to, I'm not gonna like object and say no, don't pay for her. She can pay for her own shit. But no, I mean, I don't have an expectation. Like, I don't understand. Why do y'all have these type of where do they come from? Shit, some of y'all is real out here lying, talking about you willing to go 50-50, but you got expectations and expecting them to pay for your friends? The fuck out. Listen, I'm confused by y'all. Y'all confuse me. Every week it's something different with y'all. But on my end, no, I would not expect him to pay for my friend. If he wants to, then that's nice and that's lovely, and I appreciate him for doing that. But no, the expectation is not for him to pay for my friend. If anything, I may just be, pay for my friend just because I invited her out or something like that. And I don't want her to feel like weird about it. But outside of that, no. What about you?
I actually agree. And I be wanting us to disagree so bad so we have like more controversial. But I do agree because I feel like that's my dude. Like, he don't have to pay. Now, if he pays, like you said, be like, okay, you cool, you nice. I mean, I'm not moving. I'm not touching my wallet, my pocketbook. But I don't know. Yeah, and I'm like you when I read the comments, like, he broke. What do you get he broke because he don't want to pay for her meal? Be like, sir, this is not, he didn't ask you on a date. This is my dude. And I'm like, it's not like he, was like, hey, I'm paying for, the whole table check because it's your birthday or something like that. He just so happened to show up. And I would expect the same thing from your dude. I wouldn't come to dinner and somehow your dude show up and be like, oh, he got to pay for my food. No, I'm a grown-ass woman with money.
Right? That's all I'm saying.
What? I wouldn't expect somebody else's, like, this is not my dude. This is somebody else's man. I would not be expecting for him to pick up the check.
Big facts. Now, if my man started talking about he wasn't paying for mine, if he would ask for 3 checks, it would have been a problem.
Listen, be like, so who ain't finna go home with somebody? I'm finna go.
Oh man, I tell you, listen. These folks is different because y'all be backing yourselves in some corners because every nigga ain't broke just because he won't take care of your friends too. I'm just saying. Let's not. I
don't know. I just found that weird. She was like, he dusty. I'm like, why he gotta be dusty? Because he don't want to pay for you.
Girl, these folks, man, I'm telling you, craziness. All right. Anywho, that is all we have for relationships this week. Let's jump into our segment: new music, new books, TV, etc., etc. Any reviews or anything like that you want to get off your chest?
So I have been listening to Mulatto, like, it's stupid ignorant levels, and I don't know. I just never took And I'm not gonna say I never took a liking to her music because I think I heard one of her songs on one of my playlists and I didn't know who it was, but it's a song. I was doing something and the song had passed, and I never just went back to go and look and see who was the artist that the song was, but it was actually her when I was listening to her music. I was like, oh, so I did like her. So like stupid ignorant levels. And I was telling another one of my friends, I was like, man, this is such a good time to be fucking like single and dropping hot pictures on the internet because all of these female rappers that's out here have hot lyrics for a caption. Like, I'm like, fuck, I picked the wrong time.
Listen.
But anywho.
Listen, you better quit playing so you get cursed out over there.
So, but like I said, just stupid ignorant levels. And I like the little baby song on me. Of course, it's a little raunchy, but I love that song as well. I've been listening to that. But yeah, that mulatto from the South, baby. And I'm from the South too. You can't listen, be all over the place. But yeah, those are the two things that I've been like having on repeat thus far. I've been listening to a lot of trap music lately. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep, no books, no movies. I don't even have time to read no books, Mom. I missed it.
You and me both. I don't understand. And the sad part is, I've just been work. Like, I feel like I'm killing myself with work, burying myself in like work and projects and things. But I need to take some more me time, start reading again. But every time I do think about picking up a book, it's like, but I could be editing a podcast, or I could be doing this or that. So, nonetheless, so on my end, I actually don't have any new books or new TV or anything like that. Nothing to review necessarily this week. But I did check out music wise. I told you I checked out Silk Sonic. I like the Bruno Anderson Paak combination. I think when they drop for a full album, it's just gonna be fire. I just like they vibe together. I like their vibe solo, so I like they vibe together. I enjoy it. I also, of course, I checked out Drake's Scary Hours too. First and foremost, congratulations to him. First artist ever to have the number 1, number 2, and number 3 single on the Billboard charts, Hot 100, ever. So congratulations to him. I don't even know if that'll ever be a feat that will be met again, because that's just like crazy to even think about. But nonetheless, I will say that out of the 3 songs, I'm like, it literally went in the order of the 3 records. So it went, the one he did the video for, Wants and Needs with Baby, and then Lemon Pepper Freestyle. I actually liked Lemon Pepper Freestyle better than the other 2 records, but that's just because, again, with Drake, I've always said that I prefer rapper Drake. Like, I love, like, when he just gets in his bag, like, no accents, no nothing, just in his bag, regular old Aubrey, let me do some raps. You know what I mean? Like, I've always liked those records better. Nonetheless, I actually like Lemon Pepper Freestyle better than the other 2 records. But I did enjoy the one with Lil Baby. I liked Lil Baby's verse a little bit better just because, like I said, Lil Baby been hot this year. The actual record that he did a video for, though, I don't get the hype behind it. Like, I didn't really care for the record. I felt like it was just kind of repetitive. Out of the 3 records, it was actually my least favorite, but it's the one that went number 1. So, clearly, everybody else liked it. Not my opinion does not matter, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, that's it for me this week. You know, again, that's all I have in new books, TV, and music, and all of that. So now we are going to move into our new segment. Falan DeAnn segment, and you finally got a name for it, so give it to him, Falan.
It is the nerdy rant of the week. I'm just gonna add of the week on there.
Okay, I like it.
And my rant this week is, and we saw it in social media recently with the murders, because that's basically what it was, of the 6 people in the massage parlor in Atlanta, which was gruesome. I just want to put that out there. My condolences to, the families. Like, it's whatever. We know how white supremacy operates. And with that, with white supremacy and their operations, CBS, funk ass, decided to tweet or publish an article about how Black people can be allies to Asian Americans right now. And I guess one of my issues and my rant for the week is, why are Black people called on to be allies? Like we actually did something. Why were white people not called on to be allies? That's who actually committed the murder. So why they're not called on to be allies? Like, we're not committing the majority of violence against them or whatever. And it irks me that every time something comes up with any, I guess, person of color, is that it's always Black people called on to be like allies. We have to be an ally to everybody. Where in most cases we stand alone. And I would go as far as saying all cases we pretty much stand alone. Yeah, we have a few tweets in support, but for the most part, we have to link up amongst each other, and we have to push our agendas. We have to push our causes. We have to push our people to the forefront that were slain. We have to do that. And we're still laughed at. We're still mocked. We're still tortured. We're still killed. And I was like, I just feel like to me, that's like a slap in the face. It's like, and why not focus on the man that actually murdered these people? He's not a lone wolf. He's not one of these people that's acting outside of the norm. This is the norm for white supremacy. So that's just like my rant. It's just like, please, 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 please stop fucking doing that. And Black people, we have to stop being the mute for social justice as well. It's like, pick up your own cause. Like, you are the model minority in America. Asians make more than actually white people. So you have the resources, use them.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that was all for this week.
All right. So that was Falan DeAnn's nerdy rant of the week. And that is going to push me right into the nerd moment of the week. So this week, it's going to be pretty short. I'm just going to give you some quick premieres. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's set to premiere on the Disney Plus channel on Friday, March 19th. So in 2 days, they're going to, I think it's the 19th. It's Friday the 19th. Yeah, okay, shit. I'm fucked up on the days, y'all. But yeah, so on Friday the 19th, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is set to premiere, basically taking the place of WandaVision, which ended 2 weeks ago. So I'm excited for that. I'm ready to see it. Listen, y'all know I'm a Marvel nerd. I enjoy Marvel anything. So I'm going to check it out. And I'll hit you back the following week and let you know what I think about it. Also, it is rumored that Batwoman on the CW is scheduled to be canceled after season 3. That is the rumor that's floating around right now amongst the nerds out there, is that Batwoman is scheduled to be canceled. I'm a little saddened by this because I feel like they set up my girl to fail. As soon as they get a Black Batwoman, essentially they had set her up to fail. Instead of just recasting Ruby Rose's character, they decided to go this other route. And I feel like she's doing an incredible job as Batwoman. She's such a positive woman. I've seen her on Ellen and just a lot of the different things that she's doing. So I'm just saddened to hear that the ratings have not been great. And after season 3, they've already been renewed for season 3, but after season 3, they're saying that it will be canceled again. It was a hard, in my opinion, it was a hard space to step into, because you had so many of the little fanboys and fangirls out there who were so sad about Ruby leaving and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, it was her choice. She made the decision. And instead of, in my opinion, just recasting her and being like, fuck how y'all feel, we just gonna recast, they decided to take in y'all little feelings and just try to go a whole different route. But it's not catching. And Batwoman already didn't have great writing to begin with, and just seems like they're not even trying at this point. So, like I said, I feel like they set my girl up to fail, but nonetheless, we will see if that, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, because like I said, they have been renewed for season 3, so we'll have to wait and see come, next season renewals to see if the rumors are true and they do get canceled. Lastly, last night, Flash episode 3 Mother premiered. So I'm going to go ahead and say spoiler alert, because I'm going to give some spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, then you're going to want to turn off the show at this part. But It was basically, the episode was what was supposed to be last season's season finale, and it definitely felt like a season finale. It read like a season finale. All of the little loose ends ended up, getting tied up, as well as we finally got the little cliffhanger for what would have been the start of season 7. So basically, episode 4 is going to be where we kick off the season 7 plot lines. So with the mother episode, I feel like if it would have all happened simultaneously last year, I may have been more hyped for it. But in all honesty, I was just ready for them to get over this fucking storyline. And that's just because it's been such a big, long gap since when they had to break due to COVID to now finally them wrapping it up. I was just like, shit, are we done with the storyline yet? Let's move on. But nonetheless, I feel like they did a pretty decent job. I was happy to see them lean in a little bit to Iris and Barry's relationship, really kind of centralize and hit home. Sorry to all you little fanboys out there that hate that Iris West is black, but yes, they hit home that, they are the gold standard and that Iris is his end game, and that's just what it is going to be. I will say, my prediction, for those of y'all who watched the show, Iris was the one who was able to ignite the Speed Force back into Barry, and show that the Speed Force wasn't dead. But there was a moment when she did it where she put her hand on the little sphere, and she kept chanting, "We need you, we need you, we need you." And that's what triggered the Speed Force out of her into Barry. I am predicting that her we that she was talking about was her babies. I'm thinking she's pregnant. That's my prediction. I'm thinking we'll probably find out maybe mid-season finale, if not at the end of the season. I'm thinking mid-season finale, though, because I feel like they'll carry the pregnancy into the second half of the season. But I'm definitely thinking she's pregnant, because why the hell else would she be talking about we? Who's the we? Who's the we, y'all? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, so that is the nerd moment of the week. And that is all that I have for the show this week. Anything else on your end, Falan DeAnn?
Nothing else for me.
All right, so then per usual, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, listening. I'm loving y'all guys' support. We've been seeing these numbers slowly but steadily rising. It's organic. We appreciate it. We know we don't do enough in terms of social media. So nonetheless, we appreciate y'all so much for the support. And again, just thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Good night, guys.
Good night.